Welcome back, everyone. Dan Hodge is back with us today, naturalist with Johnny Appleseed Metro Park District. He is outside, as he is encouraging us to do in this new year. Have you set a goal? How many hours should we be outside, do you think?
You know, Jeff, there's a movement right now to spend 1,000 hours outside. And you might say, oh, 1,000 hours, that's like 3 hours a day. Holy moly. But, you know, this is an interesting, it started by a mom in Wisconsin or something like that. And it's really gained some traction across the U.S., across the world, really, to spend basically to counteract the amount of screen time that we spend, both, and not just as adults, but this, I mean, the movements made me focus more on children. But we spend 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 hours a year on our screens. You know, certain studies are suggesting teenagers and adults spending 6-7 hours a day on our screens. And this isn't even including school. And this is different than you on the big screen, Jeff. This is us being engaged in social media and television and the internet and you know, Netflix and YouTube. This is us being distracted in some ways by our phone, certainly for that amount of time. And this is not good for us. We know all sorts of studies are telling us the screen time is not good for our mental health, for our physical health, for our emotional and you know, psychological, our relationships. This is all kind of negative. And so to kind of counteract that, we're trying to spend more time outside. And the benefits of being outside in nature, as we've discussed over the last several years, is tremendous. You know, lower rates of ADHD and depression and anxiety, obesity and diabetes. And the mental health benefits are incredible, physical health as well. And so trying to spend, you know, a certain amount of time, the 1,000 hours is that number, kind of counteracting screen time that we're spending, you know, kind of absorbed in our phones and on our TVs.
So if people, you know, there are a lot of people, as you mentioned, kind of addicted to their screens. Let's say they make this jump and they say, you know, in the new year, I am going to get outside more and I'm going to do this. I just imagine them going out and saying, okay, now what? Or do you have tips for maybe how they can spend that time, whether it's a walk or even reading outside, that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely, Jeff. And so, you know, of course, the park, I think, is a tremendous resource. We have a lot of programs, and I'd love to promote the park. But you can find all sorts of resources online, too. The 1,000 Hours Outside has a little website. And their, you know, social media, of course, a little bit of screen time, perhaps, but ways to engage with other parents looking to get their kids outside, too. Other people trying to find things to do, you know, even, you know, in somewhat poor weather, in the rain or the snow. What do we do? How much time can we spend? How much can a little kid handle? This is something that the community as a whole are trying to figure out answers to, and you can join. Of course, I think that, you know, I'd like to say coming out to the park is a great way to start. And certainly we have amenities and facilities to be able to do that. We're open all day, year round. Every day of the year, you can come out to the Johnny Appleseed Parks. So hopefully you can join a community. And, you know, it's great. So here's what we did last year. This is a little tracker here, Jeff. And we've colored in the dots to see how many hours we made. Now, my family, we didn't make quite 1,000 hours, or at least my wife says we didn't make 1,000 hours. That's not how you count it, and who's the stricter one coloring in the bubbles. But you know, it's not necessarily about the number, Jeff. It's about the intentionality of getting outside. It's about the effort, so to speak. It's about the mental place that you need to be to try to get yourself away from the screens and get a little bit of outside time in. So there's a lot of people trying to do it. We'd love to help at the park, and certainly there are resources, too, at 1,000 Hours Outside.
Yeah, and you guys are the place to start. You have such great parks. I head out there all the time and get 1,000 hours in this year. Dan, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. Don't forget, get outside.
For 1,000 hours this year. What a great goal. All right, thank you, Dan. We'll be back after this.